Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a Beat Saber tips and tricks video. If you would, like and subscribe, it really helps out a ton. I'm going to dive right in here with tip number 1, player options or settings. So if you go all the way to the bottom, you'll see 3 options: Advanced HUD, Reduce Debris, and Hide Note Spawning Effect. So what Advanced HUD does is it pretty much does exactly what it says. It shows an advanced HUD of your percent in the song and how long is left. And then Reduce Debris, if I turn this off, basically what this will do is it will show the blocks actually getting cut in half, as you can see. But if I turn this back on, the blocks will get Harry Pottered out of existence, and you never have to see them again. Very, very nice for the faster songs where you don't want anything to block your vision. And moving down one more, Hide Note Spawning Effect. Basically, if I turn this off, it's going to make this like little beam of light when they spawn, like they're getting, I don't know, abducted by aliens or something. I don't know. But anyways, it doesn't really serve a purpose other than just looking cool, so I have that turned on. Trail intensity, I have mine at 0.3. It's really personal preference, but I keep it below 0.5 because if you go over that, you're going to be more focused on these awesome glow sticks on your hands rather than the blocks coming at you. Gosh dang it. So, again, I'd keep it below 0.5, personal preference. Environmental effects, I have mine on no flickering because it's not really good to have strobe lights in the background while you're trying to focus on blocks. Not fun. And that's pretty much it for settings. We're gonna come back to left-handed mode a little bit later, but tip number 2 is the modifiers. These are really helpful if you want to make a song really interesting or increase or decrease the difficulty. Let's say, for example, you're stuck between hard and expert. Hard is just a little bit too easy, expert is a little bit out of your reach. What you can do is you can either go into hard and put on super fast song 4 lives, or you could go into expert and put on slower song with no fail. Super helpful when you're trying to learn the songs because Beat Saber is mainly about muscle memory, because when it goes to the faster songs like yeah, you can't process that. So anyways, I digress. Moving to tip number 3, practice mode. Very important when you're trying to learn a very tough part in a song. So let's say I'm struggling at 25 seconds. What I'm going to do is go down to 70% and then complete the part. So let's say I completed the challenging part. Very challenging. And then I move up to 75%, complete the part, 80, complete it, 85, complete it, till I'm all the way back at 100%. Once I am back at 100%, I would do it another 2 times just to make sure that you got it down. Now, how do you get the most points when you're in Beat Saber? So if you go out of solo and go to this little question mark here, it'll tell you exactly that. To get 100 points in one cut, perform a swing with a large starting angle 100 degrees from where the cube is hit, and follow through after hitting the cube for 60 degrees more. What? So it has this little graph here to show you, because I don't know what 100 degrees is off the top of my head. So graph basically up at the sky all the way down to about here. So that's why you'll see all the better players doing way bigger swings. It's because it gives you the most points. Also, a bonus 15 points will be awarded based on how close to the center of the cube the cut is made. And a way to practice cutting close to the middle is pro mode and strict angles. Basically what this does is if you don't hit it pretty much perfectly in the middle, it's going to count it as you missed it, even though you really didn't. And then moving on to tip number 5, One Saber mode. One Saber mode is really helpful if you are struggling on, let's say, your left hand, but you're really good on your right hand. So if you want, you can go into player options, left-handed mode, you turn that on, and then the saber's only in your left hand. You have no right saber because it's only one saber mode. But what if you're struggling on your right hand? Guess what? You turn left-handed mode off, and guess what? Voila! Sword on your right. And then boom, you can continue to Harry Potter blocks out of existence for hours to come. And then also a really helpful feature is no arrows. Basically what no arrows is, guess what? There's no arrows. So this is really nice for beginning players who don't really know how to hit the blocks and they just want to practice on that. Guess what? This is the mode for you. But what about the songs that don't have a no arrows mode, like maybe, let's say, Reason for Living? What you can do is you can go to modifiers and click on no arrows, and then also guess what? It has no arrows on whatever song you want. And then you also may be wondering, where do I look when I'm playing? So there's basically two options you can take with this. You can either glance individually at every single block. I recommend this one for these slower songs where you're going to focus more on getting a full combo or stuff like that. But on the faster songs, how do you even look at all the different arrows coming? So kind of stare at the blocks and use your peripheral vision to see all of the arrows and colors of the blocks. And then if the blocks move to the left, you look to the left. Blocks move to the right, you look to the right, but still use your peripheral vision. So now you got down where to look. How do you swing? On some of those faster songs, it seems like you can't even keep up. So basically, a strategy that you can use is almost putting your hands parallel to your shoulders and then kind of rotate your shoulders and move your wrists up and down. This will basically decrease the length from your sword to the block coming, which is really nice, and it really helps you hit the blocks faster. I think I went into Spin Eternally once I learned this on Expert Plus, and I immediately did better, night and day difference. Also, a good YouTuber who does that sort of swings all the time is a LS Toast. I'll probably put the link in the description. Awesome YouTuber, check him out. But let's say you're just starting. Where do you begin? How do you get better? So play the campaign. It's a super overlooked feature, and I don't really know anyone who has actually played it, but it is really helpful because it starts you basically at rock bottom, but it works you right up to normal, hard, expert, expert plus, but along the way it teaches you things like getting score and getting good cuts and not bad cuts. Basically taking baby steps to learn all the best strategies and stuff like that. The last part of this is how you actually hold your controller. So basically, I play on the Oculus Quest 2, and how I hold it, I almost hold it normally, except I move my pointer finger down to where my middle finger would be, and since this button does nothing in the game, I just hold that down, and it gives me a really good grip. Now when you're playing, don't swing like this, kind of tilt your hand to the side and swing like this. This will give your wrist the best movement so that you can hit the blocks way faster, and maybe even more accurate in some cases. So what does it take to have a good controller grip? So there's two things you need to have a good controller grip. You need good wrist movement, and you need a tight grip on the controller so it's not going to fling out of your hand and go flying into a wall. That would not be good. Also, wrist straps. They made them for a purpose. I never wear them, but you know. So there's a bunch of different grips that you can do just in the Oculus controller alone. There's this claw grip you can do. I'm not a fan of this one. I just don't think it gives me enough strength to hold down the controller. I think it's kind of awkward. But again, it gives you great wrist movement, and you have a pretty tight grip on it. I mean, it's not too weak of a grip or anything, but I don't like it in my opinion. But it's really personal preference. You can look it up on the internet. There's a bunch of different Oculus Quest 2 or whatever you play on controller grips and all sorts of stuff. So that's the last tip. And yeah, that's the tips and tricks for Beat Saber. I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.